Alright, let's work through a couple of these problems on 4.4, inscribed angles and polygons. So, in this first one we're trying to find the measure of angle A, and we know that the central angle right here is 130. We also know that the central angle is equal to the arc measure. Right, these are both 130. Now, by the inscribed angles theorem, we know that A, being the inscribed angle, is half that of the intercepted arc, which is the one we just showed right here, 130. So A is equal to 1/2 of 130, which is, what, 65? Okay, so A equals 1/2 of 130. Here we'll notice that this inscribed angle intercepts the arc that is the diameter. And since we know the diameter gives us 180 degrees, we know that this angle right here is actually a right angle, 90 degrees, right? 1/2 of 180 is 90. Therefore, we have two angles, 90 and 60, so we know that B is equal to 30. On this one it says find the value of C. Now, we do have this part of the arc, specifically the intercepted arc, by this angle, this inscribed angle. But what about C? We still have all of this here to consider. Well, we know that 95 is 1/2 of that angle, or sorry, the intercepted arc. So if we add up 120 and C, we have double that inscribed angle, so we can just cut it in half here. So I'll make this easier by multiplying both sides by 2, which is another way you could have started it in the first place. You could have just doubled the inscribed angle. What do we get with that? 180 plus 10, 190? 190 is equal to, so if we multiplied this side by 2, it gets rid of this 1/2, so we're just left with 120 plus C. Therefore, we know C must be 70. So this right here is 70. Find D and E. I'll leave that one for you guys. Find the measure of the indicated arc, angle or arc. So we're looking for this one right here. Now if we want to find this one, just highlight that. We know this angle, 42, and we also know, we also know this arc, which is 116. Now all we have to do is find this intercepted arc that's made by the angle, inscribed angle of 42 degrees. So again, remember, what is this equal to? The intercepted arc, it's 2 times the measure of the inscribed angle. So let me make this purple so we see how they correspond. So 2 times 42 is 84. So we know 84 plus 116 plus that angle we're looking for equals a full circle, 360 degrees. You can solve that from there, right? Let's try this one. Let me erase all this as well. We are looking for this angle. So I'm just gonna first, I'll use yellow so it kind of corresponds. Highlight its intercepted arc. So that's all of this here, arc KTS. we don't know what that is yet, but we do know that actually the rest of the circle. So this is 64 plus 130. So let's add up 64 plus 130. And we know that whatever KTS is, I'll just do a measure of equals 360. So let's add these up. We get 194 plus the measure of KTS equals 360. Subtract 194 from both sides. And we end up with 176. So the measure of KTS equals 176. This out of the way a little bit. So that's 176, but that gives us the whole thing. Oh, we're good then. We just take half of that. Check it out. I'll do this in red now. The intercepted arc, which we found is 176, is 2 times the length of that inscribed angle. So the measure of that inscribed angle, let me highlight this, is half of 176, which should be 88. 88 times 2 is 176.